In terms of the way that you might want to manage these things, I always look at it in terms of internal and external innovation. So let's say we want to innovate internally. We bring in a consultant and they say, cool, we're going to bring startups to pair with current teams. That never works, ever. So think of like the analogy of, let's say the fastest animal on land is the cheetah, right? You throw the cheetah in the ocean and say, okay, do what you do on land and we'll see you in 6 months. It doesn't work. It's the same thing with the ocean, right? You have the sailfish, fastest animal in the sea. Essentially, you throw that thing on land, it's the same deal. There's a reason that startups aren't working in large corporations. It's because there's a big culture difference. And it's some of the most nuanced things in terms of, I don't want to dress like those guys. And I don't see why I have to be here at 9 and punch out at 5 when I know I'm still working 12 hours when I roll in at 11:30 and you see me leave the office at 10:45 at night. That's the way I work. It's a completely different environment and it's oil and water, they never mix. In terms of external innovation, I know I'm bouncing around, but external innovation is super fascinating and I think a lot of large companies are drifting towards this. The idea of having a corporate garage or an innovation lab. The concept is almost operating like you're basically a corporate VC. You're bringing in a bunch of chance and opportune kind of focused startups that have a vision and saying, cool, I'm gonna give you resources, I'm gonna give you time, dance, like show me something cool. But you're gonna have to also come into this knowing you can't set the critical milestones on these guys the same way you would inside of large departments. But what you do get out of this is the ability to influence and say, look, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to change your model, continue to run. You can't do that inside of large organizations because we've already had meetings for the sake of meetings. And well, we agreed on the last one where 50 people sat in a room and nodded their head because they agreed with me because I'm the boss that we were gonna go this way. And you have 2 years of development work later and it turns out this whole project was a bust. Whereas startups are agile and they got into it for the right reasons and they're willing to follow every step in order to see their dream come true. Totally different ways of thinking, internal versus external. External is always going to work, and there are a few players that are doing it really well.